Hopefully everybody liked the little video there. I like doing the repairs type stuff. Um, when the channel first started, it was more, taking budget guitars and fixing them and trying to make a minimum investment and trying to get a really nice guitar out of it. It doesn't really take too much work on some of these budget guitars to get a nice playing guitar. If you don't want to put the work into it, then we also try to find good buys like this little Rev Star here, the Kramers. Uh, I get it. Price point is based on your income, based on what you feel comfortable spending. Some people think a $1,500 guitar is a budget guitar. Some people think a $3,000 guitar is a budget guitar. In my personal opinion, I'd say anything under 450, 400 would be considered a budget guitar. Anywhere from 500 to 1,000, I'm going to say that that's a lower mid-grade guitar. And then from 1,000 to let's say 1,700 would be a solid mid-grade guitar. Your better guitars per se would be 1,800 to 2,500. I think once you get into the $2,500 and $3,000 range, I don't know if you're really buying anything better. I think at that point, really probably anything over 2 grand. I think you're buying it for what you want because it's going to make you happy. It's something that you always wanted. Um, I haven't played that many guitars, in the $4,000 and $5,000 range, but it seems to me once you pass $1,800 to $2,200, it just comes down to personal taste and whether or not you want that particular instrument. And right there is our amp that we're using tonight. And you can see on the top right hand corner, I have a little 1/8 inch stereo jack plugged into it. And that goes to two XLR cables, which makes it stereo. That's plugged into my Mackie board. And then the Mackie output is going over to my Yamaha interface. So what you're hearing is the direct interface out of that little Yamaha amp right into my Yamaha uh, interface that goes to the computer. That's why I was saying it's Yamaha night because I am playing a Yamaha guitar. We have a Yamaha amplifier with an IR and amp sim in it, and that is going over to our Yamaha AG08 right to YouTube. I think it sounds pretty good. I don't know what you guys think about it, but this guitar pretty much all day long is $550, and the little amplifier that you hear is like $329. And that little guy, it sounds really good. I mean, I remember, being 19 and spending $750, $800 just on a guitar. Now you can get a little amp like that, and that little amplifier is actually pretty loud. I think it's 20 watts. Um, so we kept two little speakers in it, but it rocks this little room. This is about a 16 by 17 foot room, and it's all you need in this room. It does really well. Got built-in effects on it. I mean, it's a kick butt little amp. Now, I know, do any of you guys run the Spark at all? I think we've talked about the Spark in the chat before. I'm kind of new to this whole mini amp modeling thing, guys. I mean, really, when I started YouTube, I didn't really grasp, how far technology had come. I was still doing my rack stuff, tubes. And as I've gotten more and more into YouTube, I've seen that this modeling stuff has actually come a long way. Can I hear the difference? Yeah, I can hear the difference. When I'm sitting here playing this, the distortion sounds really good. I like the distortion. It's got a good. I have no issues at all with that. My issue is the in-between notes. The amplifier almost acts like it doesn't know sag. A tube amp will sag when you hit the notes hard and you're playing, and it gives it a tone between the notes, almost like an artificial filler. If you listen to this modeling amp, there isn't as much fill between the notes. But as soon as you strike the note, it becomes full. I think I notice it more when I'm on the leads, if that makes sense. It seems like maybe it's my ears or something, a disconnect. And I really can tell the difference on hammer-ons. I don't know, but I think it sounds good. Especially this little amplifier is like, I think we paid $329 for it. I would have killed for a little amp like that. Even though I'm picking on it. Now, I'm comparing that to, I've got probably $7,000, $8,000 in my rack unit. So it's really not a fair comparison. But when you get used to something and you go back to something like this, I can feel the difference. Would I have, when I was playing, I would have loved to have something like this. I could have put that up on a little, stand up by my ear. Could my little monitor come out on the headphone jack, go front of house with it. And been set up and ready to play in under 5 minutes. I mean, that's just crazy. But that's why I called it Yamaha Night, because everything you're hearing tonight is a Yamaha, except my little microphone here, which is an S1. That's the lead channel. And I have the gain turned up quite a bit. Now, when I ordered my cable, I ordered a short cable. So I have to get up to actually change the positions, because when I go to this camera, it's actually setting right on top of my rack mount unit. That's where it's setting. And that's as far as I can get it. It has to literally sit right there. I only bought a 3-foot patch. I thought it was 6 foot, but when it showed up, it was only 3 foot. So I literally had to set it right on top of the rack mount equipment there. So let me change the gain setting. Let me go down to like a crunch and see what we can do crunch wise.
You got the date wrong.
I got the what?
The date wrong.
Oh, I got the date wrong on the live stream, guys. I was rushing. I forgot to change it. I hit reuse settings. Ha! Now this is the crunch channel. And you can hear there's definitely a difference. I think it's got a good sound. I think it would sound a little better if I actually turned the distortion back a little bit more. Let me turn the distortion back just a little bit more. This is about 60% just on the crunch channel. Gotta bring the volume up so you guys can hear it. And it does do that well. If you pick it soft, it'll get you a clean. A little more bass, and that's Angus Young. Yeah. Now, something I noticed with this one, on this amp, if you turn the bass up, you get this funny little... Let me see if I can get it to do it. Now, I'm going to turn the bass up and see if you guys can audibly hear it. It breaks up a little funny. Alright, I turned the bass up to 75%. it let me try something a little different here. See if you can hear it. It's probably not coming through. It's almost like a delay. It's not as predominant on this gain channel. When if I kick it over to lead, it seems to do it a little worse with the bass turned up. Yeah, let me turn it up to the lead channel. See if we can pick it up on the lead channel. And this is what I was saying earlier when we tested my rack mount to the Line 6. A lot of times it's a feel, and that feel offsets what you hear. So sometimes, remember what we were saying earlier? Which one am I going to take when I go out playing? Am I going to take my rack or my little Line 6? I'm taking that Line 6 because most people aren't going to hear the difference. Maybe it's just something that I'm hearing and it's not audible through YouTube. Now to me that sounds a little boomy because I'm riding that A. The E doesn't do it there. On my end the A sounds boomy. Let me cut the gain back a little bit. I think it sounds good though. For $329 to be able to take that little amplifier, put a pair of headphones on, because basically that's what you're hearing. I'm coming out of the headphone jack over to the AG08. So it's kind of cheating, but it works this way. I mean, it's a great little practice sound. It's got different settings. Let's try like a flanger and a different modulation effect. If we do. Ooh, hot cocoa.
Here.
Somebody made me hot cocoa. So this is flanger, and what's the other setting? Does it say? I'm not gonna read them. She's teasing me with the hot cocoa. What's the other one? It says flanger, and she's looking at it.
Well, I'm too short to see.
It is flanger and echo reverb.
I'm too short.
So I need to get it over here. So this would be flanger echo reverb. That has a lot of stereo effect to it. I like that setting. This is flanger, I think. Let me check, guys. Pretty sure this is flanger. Yes, this is flanger and echo reverb. So we can do chorus. This would be chorus with echo and reverb. What's the model number of that guy? I think it's a TH
It's a THR 10, 10
10HR10.
THR 10
10.2. So it's a second generation. THR 10.2, second gen. It's a, I mean, it's got a good sound, guys.
Niles has to go.
Who's this?
Niles.
Oh, Niles has got to go. Okay, buddy. Thank you for coming and checking out the premiere tonight, man, and then also coming to the live part. That's when I see everyone coming in each week. That means that we're doing something different. I mean, it's all about the community and you guys getting together and me getting together and being able to chat. You know, that's really what the live streams are supposed to be about. I need to get back to doing what we did earlier tonight and what we did last weekend as far as guitar reviews. But I definitely want to do at minimum one live stream, a week, because for me it's a lot of work. So for me to sit down like we did earlier and just chat, that's cool too in the premiere. But to be able to do the video and chat about just random guitars and different amps and stuff, that's awesome too. So I just wanted to say thanks, man, for coming and checking out both shows. So what do you guys think of that little amp? I know we tried it with the two little microphones, and I kept saying that it sounded much better than I was able to capture it. But that's what the amp sounds like right there. We're coming right out of the headphone jack, right into my interface, right square to YouTube. It's phenomenal. What $330 can buy you nowadays. That's just crazy.
Did you?
Oh. No, I've actually bought this guitar for myself. And Jupe, what's funny about this, I had every intention on buying this guitar and ripping the pickups out of it. I was going to put a set of P rails on it because I like P90s and I really want a P90 guitar, but I think I want a P90 Gibson. Excuse me, fellas. But the more I play this guitar, I don't really want to rip the pickups out of it. This guitar just it's got a great sound with these stock pickups. Just sound great. So I'm having a hard time putting $240 on a set of Seymour Duncan P rails to drop in this guitar when it sounds this good. It's got decent sustain as well. That's not shabby. And it picks up the little pick crazy crap. All the little goofy 80. It's hard to do the 80s kind of because you gotta kind of work it with your hand.
In the gig bag behind the Yamaha bag.
Oh, they gave me a free. This is why I say support your local music store, guys. This guitar doesn't come with anything in the United States. So when I picked it up, they gave me free of charge.
Oh.
This one.
He's trying to figure out what's in the other one.
Oh, you want to know what's in the other gig bag? That's a beat up Squire. I think we showed it on the live stream about a week ago. It's a Squire that's been modified. It has the Texas Toast Fender specials in it. It needs to be rerouted. It needs some work, but that guitar has a phenomenal sound to it. It's just when you pull up the volume knob, it's like sticking out of the body of the guitar almost 3/8 of an inch. So I either need a short shaft potentiometer, or I'm going to have to route the backside, the body out, and then move this set nut that's on the inside down to lower the potentiometer into the guitar. Or I need to find a short shaft push potentiometer for it. Ted Talks Guitars we've been, what do they call it, text messaging one another back and forth, but he's either busy and I'm free, or when he's free, I'm busy. So we've been playing phone tag and email tag all week over that guitar.
You need to see which one Devastator wanted.
Devastator. Now the reason Devastator sent me a thing on Skype. So this has gotten completely blown out of proportion, because on the last stream we were talking about the Purple Burst, and then we talked about this guitar, the Squire. The whitewash Squire. Let me turn this one off, and I'll get it out, and I'll unplug here. Look, we might as well go over it and set the record straight and get everybody on the same page here. Let me put this over. I'm going to set the guitar over here. So what ended up happening was during the live stream, I got confused. Linnell got confused. I don't think you guys were confused, and I wasn't confused until Linnell got me confused, and then she started saying, and it made sense what she was saying. I'm like, well, that's why I sent you the Skype message, Devastator, because I was like, well, I'll just send you the guitar. because then I got confused on which guitar, and I'm like, well, no, because we were talking about the tremolo. So Linnell said Devastator wanted this guitar, and I'm like,
For his son.
for your son, and I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure he wants the Purple Burst Firefly with the Floyd Rose on it, and Ted wants this guitar. So I've been emailing and text messaging back and forth with Ted all week, and neither one of us have gotten anything done or resolved on this, but I know Ted wants it. But I think Devastator wanted the Purple Burst. Is that not the Firefly with the Floyd Rose? And because I talked to you, and you were like, well, how much is it going to cost to fix it? And I said, well, it needs a bridge. And I was like, it probably $170. We can get that guitar, $200. Get a bridge and get it going, because it needs a lock nut too. The lock nut is stripped. And that's when I was talking to Devastator. He was like, that's cool. I'll talk to Lori about it. That's why I was thinking, okay, it's done. That's the guitar. We'll do a video on it. Then Linnell said, no, he wants this guitar. And when she said that, that's when I sent you the message saying, well, I'll just send you the guitar if this is the one you want, because in reality, this guitar plays. Well, it used to play. I haven't plugged it in a coon's age. But this right here, look at how far the volume knob is sticking out of the guitar.
He wants the Blue Burst.
So that's pushed in, and that's out. So it's up in China. It's like Mount Everest. But this is a cool freaking guitar. It's way out of tune. So, yeah, you wanted the Blue Burst. See, I was right, honey.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, if that's the one you want, like I said, we'll take the Kramer money and we'll just put it over on the other one if that was okay. See, now I'm so confused. I don't even know if Lori said that you could do that and you wanted me to put the money over on the Purple Burst. I mean, that's fine. And then Ted said that he wanted this one. So I've been playing phone tag with Ted. Let me see if I can even... This thing hasn't been played in over 2 years. Wow, it's really out. I'll plug it in. Wow, that's way out. You know it's out when your ear can't even recognize the tuning. All right, that's close enough. So let me get my headphones back on. We'll try this thing out. I don't even remember if I took and disconnected the electronics in it or not. I don't think I did. I think I just opened it up and checked it. It's tuned to like 30, 40. I think it's a whole step down. Well, it might be more than a step. I forgot what this thing sounded like. These are some kind of, these are Fender Custom Shop Texas Special Custom Shop pickups the guy put in this thing. The pickups were cost more than the whole vintage vibe 60s Telly cost. That's all I know. So I think he paid $4 something for this, or 400 for this. So I'm assuming the pickups were about 400. He also put the Wilkinson relic tailpiece on it with the brass compensated saddles, and then it has the push pull. It's something strange with the electronics. I can't remember how he explained the electronics on it. It's a 3-way switch. So this would be both pickups. Neck position. Yeah, the more I really, it's been in a box in that bag downstairs for 2 years. I wanted a Telly, and this thing is a Telly, 100% Telly with these pickups in it. And I keep saying it needs network. In reality, it really doesn't. It's just been played so much. You see the wear through the fretboard? That's how much this guitar's been played. Look right through there. It's worn down. I mean, it feels polished right there. All the way, especially right here. He must have been, he was an E player. You can see where he played the guitar. Right here at the E, the A. I mean, it takes a long time to break a guitar in like this. You look at the fretboard is grungy, but it's got that broke-in feel on the lacquer. I really shouldn't get rid of it. People scream for guitars like this, but it's just got that feel. And it's got that, a lot of people claim, oh, you know, it's an old guitar. When a guitar, the more you play a guitar, okay, that resignation, that vibration goes through the body. It starts breaking down the fibers of the wood. I truly believe if the more you play something, the better that thing sounds. And this guitar has just been played and played. I mean, it's obvious it's been played. And that might contribute to the sound that this thing has. You know, Jupe, I agree with you. I'm not a big fan of the super glossy fretboards either. But sometimes, you pick up something, it just makes you play it. I mean, when I first played this guitar, it just made me want to play it. Even though the back of the neck is filthy, I mean, look at it's just grungy. But there's just something about this guitar. Like right here, you can feel the drag in the back of the neck, and then it's like super smooth, like right here. But right here, it's like sticky and draggy. But I, I mean, I could take it downstairs if you give me 8 hours with this guitar to go downstairs and just really. I think I would fall in love with this thing because it plays so well right now. If I actually went down and did something with it, it would actually. I keep saying I want a Telecaster, and I've got a kick butt Telecaster right here with a set of Fender Custom Shop pickups that I shouldn't even think about getting a Telly. I have one right here. Let's clean it up a little bit because it's a Telecaster. So let's clean it up. Let's go down to the crunch channel. See if it get more. There we go. Go up to our center position. Up to our neck position. The volume definitely drops off. Go back to our center position. neck position, and I have the tone all the way up now. And then when we do the push pull, you can see it takes the edge off. Roll the tone back just a little bit. Yeah, it's got a large variety of tones. The center position, just in my opinion, is out. Now this, you can really hear the push pull. Then when I cut it, it's got a good sound. But you guys know me, I gotta play 80s. So now that we've got that straight, so we know which guitar Devastator wants. So if that's truly the case, I guess hit me up on Skype again, and we'll go back through the whole rigmarole on what we're actually doing with that guitar Devastator, and then I can track Ted down on this one if I decide to do something with it. It's been here that long. It's actually in a Sire bass gig bag. It was just something I had laying around, and I actually forgot what was in this gig bag. So I don't know what you guys think about it. I'm going to take these things off. It's burning up my ears. Leo Gibson YouTube channel does a review on it.
Talking about a dark glass anagram unit.
A what?
It's called a dark glass anagram
Oh yeah, the pedal thing. I was missing my hot cocoa, guys. It was brought out like a half an hour ago, and I hadn't even drank any of it. So now I got to get caught up on all the chat. Oh, I see Honey Tap joined the group. Mr. Honey Tap. Good to see you, brother. So we got a couple people in here. I can't see how many people's actually in the stream. Let me open up the thing. Sometimes it tells me, sometimes it doesn't.
Mine says 15
Yeah.
or 16.
But that's the Telecaster. But I'm just glad we got the cable so you guys could actually hear that little Yamaha amp. If anyone's looking for a little desktop amp, that little 20 watt THX 10 -2, that's a nice little amplifier. Linnell uses it to practice on, and like I said, we tried to do a demo on it with 2 microphones, but it just didn't work. So coming right out of the headphone jack right into the interface, that works well.
Vox guitar is on.
Hey, I see Vox is on.
Devastator sent you a message on Skype.
Yeah, I saw the little Skype window come up.
He said it's for later.
Yeah, it's for later. Well, if you're just joining in, we did a video premiere earlier of taking the Fender Standard guitar and doing a little neck work on it. We repaired 1 fret. We dressed and corrected some fret sprout. And we also dressed the end of the frets. And we did a polishing on them. So it's more like a tutorial video. So if anyone's interested in that and you wasn't there for the premiere, you can go back and watch that. It kind of ends abruptly. I didn't realize how much content I actually shot working on that guitar. So I figured I'd go back and do another video on the reassemble and intonation setting up. And to be honest, I may not, because I also have Jupe's guitar on the bench right now, and I'm shooting video for that. So I might roll right into that one, and I might just save the Fender footage for a later date. It's already been recorded, so I can start processing that at any time. If you guys want to see the reassembly of it. So basically, if I do a video on that, I would show how to reset a bolt-on neck, how I do it. I mean, I'll set the neck and I put my 2 E strings on, and I move the neck back and forth and I get it seated properly. And then I can actually check my tremolo height, see if I need a shim, see if I want to put any back pitch in the neck. So I kind of went over all that on that one, but like I said, I would need to edit the video and then release it. So if you guys are interested in that, I can start working on that as I'm shooting the Jupes video stuff. A whole online band. That's the thing now. No one actually gets together. People just kind of shoot music files back and forth, and then it's all grouped together, through a DAW, and you'd actually never get together. They send the drum track, and then he records the guitar part, and then the drum track and the guitar part goes to the bass player, and then the singer, and then it all just kind of gets tossed together at the end on the DAW.
Well, Honeytop said he found a service that lets you play with other musicians over the internet with only a 25 ms delay.
25 millisecond.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's quite a bit of delay for if you were going to do something, I could see it in recording because you could send DAW files back and forth. As far as doing it like we're doing now, let's say Honey Tap, if you were on and you were going to play the guitar and I was going to play bass, I think the lag would be so wacky, especially if we were doing the live stream together and then we were putting it out for the viewers. The YouTube goes out of sync. Like right now when I'm speaking, not everyone is hearing and seeing my hand go down right now. Some people are 5 seconds behind, 10 seconds behind, it'll start mistracking. Everything gets out of sync. And you can notice that in the chat. Someone will say, hey, and they're like, I just saw that. And someone else saw it maybe 10 seconds earlier. The longer the stream, the more it'll go out of sync for people if there's buffering issues or connection problems. But I can see where that would definitely be an issue as far as playing live with the bandwidth and then trying to stream that out to you. There's already a 10 or 12-second delay in YouTube. And then with the legacy between the two people playing together, it would be tough. 30 minutes 6 is the same delay as 20 feet away from another player. Not noticeable. I don't know. It just depends. I guess it depends on the stream health. I've never done that. I've always played with other people. But I can see you using DAWs. If there's a lot of guys on YouTube that are recording with other people, and they live halfway across the country. They're just exchanging files. 30 milliseconds. I don't know. I have a hard enough time just keeping up with the chat because everything that I say, you guys hear like 12 seconds later. So a lot of times I'll look over at the chat and I don't see a response. I think no one's interested and I move on. And then come to find out after I moved on, then the comments start coming on what I just stopped talking about. So I've trying to teach myself to kind of stick to the topic and look at the chat window and see if people are engaging with it or not engaging with it. Sometimes it's difficult. I'm still kind of learning that. Yeah, Jupe wants the Chapman too, honey, evidently. You see his last message? She might be on a different delay than I'm on.
I just saw Avery packing up a Chapman to send out.
YouTube on our end, because Linnell watches the main stream, it's 12 seconds. From when I speak, like right now, and when Linnell sees it on her phone, it's about 12 seconds later. It's a tremendous amount of time between what I'm doing and when she receives it on her phone. So she's actually watching the stream as you guys see it. And towards the end of the stream, what my computer says and what her computer says is usually off sometimes 15 seconds. It's quite a bit. And we're using the exact same connection and it's straying that much. So I can imagine if you're on a different server or there was a buffering issue or something like that, I'm sure it could be a lot more than that. You guys are still on the Chapman kick.
They'll never get off of it.
I like that Chapman. It's got 56. I think it's 56 to 10s on it. I think it's what's on that guitar. I mean, I like it. I was thinking of actually doing a couple 56 to 10 or 48 or 46 to 10s, something, or 52 to 10s on a couple of my guitars. After playing hers, I'm kind of digging the 10s. I've played 9s pretty much my whole life. I think I could definitely get away with 10s, like I don't know if they have a 4810 or not, but I could definitely get away with that on like the Vandenberg or the Night Swan with the shorter scale length. It's a little easier to bend. I do notice it on the 25.5 scale length that the heavier strings are a little, I overbend sometimes anyway. You guys can probably hear it in my playing when I go too far. So it might be good for me to step up a gauge and kind of reel in my playing style a little bit from getting too bendy and over bending. That might be one way of correcting it. Plus, it'll get rid of that harsh, high sound sometimes the 9s give you. Yeah, the yellow green one. That's the brand new Revstar. That thing is awesome, Honey Tap. It's a great little guitar. I bought it to put P90 rails on it, and every time I play it, it just sounds so good. I don't think I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna leave the stock pickups on it. I'm not gonna order a set of $250 pickups. It sounds too good stock. It would be different if I really wasn't bonding with it, but I'm bonding with the guitar. It does what that guitar does, and it does it well. So that guitar should probably just stay stock. Exact Jupe, you're 100% right. Billy Gibbons uses eights. I mean, I don't know what his top E is. Um, I guess maybe it's 42 to 8. I don't know. Everyone talks about, so that'd be his high E would be an 8. I wonder what his low E is. If
Did you
that's like a 36 or a 38 or something like that, I'm not sure.
did you see where Honey Tap asked if the yellow guitar was your new Yamaha?
Yeah, I answered it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I told him it was the new Revstar.
Okay.
GHS is made in Michigan? I did not know that. I've never tried eights, Penagore. I've tried tens, and I don't remember what the top E, the low E was on the tens, and that was years ago. And I found that I didn't like them because I couldn't bend them as much, but I was a much younger guitar player then. Now I've been playing longer, my fingers are stronger, so tens really don't affect me too much. I can bend those up, like nothing. But back in the day, I did try tens, and I thought they were just too thick. It's amazing how we kind of change over the years, and everything that we used to hate, now we kind of go, oh, it's cool. I mean, I always looked at Telecasters like, why would I want a Telecaster? And now I love Telecasters. I used to say, well, why would I want a double cut or an ABR bridge? Now I have guitars with ABR bridges, fixed bridges, uh, P90 single coils. Uh, I played active for years and just swore by active electronics, EMGs. And now I play mostly passive. But when I play my PV Nitro, I know that's my guitar. That EMG 89 on high gain, it just that's my sound. Nothing taken away from the Seymour Duncan JB or the DiMarzio distortions that I have or whatever's in that Yamaha or these pearly gates and my other guitar over here. They all sound great. But I played that EMG 89 for just so many years. It's ingrained in this little squirrel brain that's what a heavily distorted guitar should sound like. So I just love the EMG 89. I run nines on my Strat and tens on my Les Paul. Yeah, that makes sense because the Les Paul, that's what I was just saying, with a 24.7 fret scale, it's easier to bend. So you can put tens on that and you're good to go. Now her Chapman is a 25.5 scale length, and I can feel that it has heavier strings on it. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna say it's a 56 to 10 on that guitar. It's a it's a pretty beefy low E. Uh, the guy that owned that guitar set it up to do alternative tunings like drop D and stuff. So I'm assuming that it's a 56 on the low E. It definitely can chug if you tune it that way. It's a chugging guitar. I've never tried guitar fetish pickups. I hear that they're good, but everyone knows my thoughts on that. I'm not saying pickups don't make a difference because I like the way that Yamaha sounds. Um, but I'm a firm believer that 90% of your tone is your amps. Uh, for every dollar you spend on upgrading wiring and upgrading pots and potentiometers and caps and pickups, dump that in your amp. Dollar to dollar, you will hear more of an improvement upgrading your amplifier equipment more so than pickups. You can take a $200 guitar with pickups and put it in a nice amplifier and make it sound good. You could take a $5,000 Kiesel and plug it into a Gorilla amplifier. It's going to sound like. That's what I tell everyone. Dump your money in your amplifier. Whether you get an Axe-Fx, what is it, that FM9 or an FM3 or a VP, what's that new VP unit, and your or Quad Cortex, something like that. Dump your money there and go front of house or get you a nice little modeling amp. You know, if I was going to do something and I was playing out, you know, in front of people, I think I would just get a small modeler like a Nano Cortex. They have made some improvements on the second gen Nano Cortex. Now you can sample, you can do hours directly and captures on the new one you couldn't before, and you can they've changed the way the effects set in the unit. Now you can use a gate up front and that frees up a slot, so you can have distortion reverbs. You take a Nano Cortex, and I would just take you don't need an FR guys. Don't. Just go out and get yourself a nice 300 or 400 watt PA speaker, powered PA speaker. Plug it into that thing and just, there's your amp. Going out and playing guitar, Quad Cortex, or Line 6 Stomp, or whatever. That's the way to go. If you're just playing out in front of people. I would never, ever think about even, I'll be honest with you, I would never even think about taking a Boss Katana. Because if you're doing that, you're going to be singing too. So if you have two PA speakers that are powered, that have two channel inputs, you're done. Take your microphone, plug in channel 1, take your Quad Cortex, plug it into channel 2, there you go, you're set. And if you're limited, you know, and you only have one input, you can get a little 4-channel subcompact board, mics into channel 1, guitar into channel 2, get yourself a little Akai workstation, plug it into channel 3. Now you're a whole band. You're a one-piece band, and you can fit it all in the back of your smart car. 2 PAs, 2 self-powered PAs, 1 guitar, 1 keyboard, a microphone, a couple stands. It's amazing what you can do. Does it sound like a rack mount tube amp or a full Marshall stack? No, I've said that before, but the people you're playing to, you're not gonna tell the difference. And when I was playing this little Yamaha, this THX10, on that last setting, I felt connected to the amplifier. I did not feel that lag or that open space between the notes. It was not present. So I think, you know, I haven't really messed around with that. I wanted to plug it in, do a demo just like you guys. Liddell's been playing it. I have not played with it. But if I had a couple hours just to sit down and get 2 or 3 sounds out of it, just get the effects right to where all I'd have to do is roll over and go from lead to crunch to clean, just like that, click, 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 click. That's all you need. Just a little bit of delay, a little bit of chorus in it, some echo or reverb or whatever. And get it set up where you turn one knob for high gain, medium, distortion, and clean. There you go, you're done. I mean, that's small enough. Technically, I guess you could take that and go headphones out. But if you wanted to keep it compact, the Line 6 Stomp or the Nano Cortex or something like that. Everybody knows I'm saving money for an Axe-Fx. So I have a Line 6 Stomp. So I would just take that. Even though I'm getting a Line 6 Stomp, that's for home. You know, maybe doing YouTube and stuff like that. But if someone invited me to go out and play out, I would grab my Line 6 stomp and my guitar and a couple cables, maybe a microphone and a stand, and I would go to open mic. I mean, really, if I'm going to an open mic, all I need is the Line 6, a cable, and my guitar. Because they're going to have their PA set up. I'll just go right out of the Line 6, right, you know, that's all I need. And if I wanted to get technical, I think it's got a headphone jack, so I could set it up next to me and put my headphones on so I could hear myself in context to the rest of the people. That's all I need.
Did you see Juke's question about the 9 to 42?
Avery, have you ever tried the Ernie Ball Hybrid Slinkies 9 to 42? I have a set here, but never tried them. I used to play Super Slinkies, but I started playing the Dean Markley Cold Blue Steel. I played the cryogenic blue steels for probably 20 years. When they stopped making them, I went back. I did play DNR for a little while, and the only issue I had with DNR, it seemed like the intonation, even sticking with the exact same series and the exact same size, I had issues with intonation from set to set. So I went to Cold Blue Steels, and I liked those. And then it seems like I kind of floated around a couple different brands after the Blue Steels. And then what I settled on was the Diodario NYXLs. And I've been playing those for about 3 years. And I've just now kind of started fishing around for strings again. I did like the Stringjoy strings, but they were $18 for a set, and that's a little too pricey for me. I mean, I get it, it's your guitar strings. I just put a set of those Diodario XLs on that Fender I just reviewed. I like those. I thought they were a little bright, but I'm not chucking them off yet because I put them on a Strat. Strats tend to be a little bright. So I might buy another set and stick them on like this Kramer or something and see what they do. But I am actively looking for a different type of string, whether it's Super Slinkies or Diodario has another string. It's not the NYXLs, it's the white pack. It's a real fancy looking package. They're about $16 a set. Everyone says those are nice. I have not tried those. Trying to think what else I tried. Stringjoy. Not Even Slinky. I did try that set, Jupe. The Not Even Slinkies. They were fine. I think they went dead a lot faster. The NYXLs stay fresh and sound good 6 months in. And that's saying something. The only reason I'm kind of going away from them, I've noticed a lot of fret wear on a couple of the guitars that I've been putting those on, and I can see it. It's not grinding into the fret yet, but I can see the fretting issue. And as much as because I play a bunch of different guitars, so as much as I've played those guitars over the last 3 years, put maybe 3 sets of strings on them, it seems a bit excessive on how they were cutting the frets. I could be 100% wrong on that. It appears like right in here where I play a lot that the fret has gotten dull. And when I put a fret rocker on it, it hasn't chewed the fret yet, but I can definitely see a difference in the polishing. More so than other guitars that I've played, I think more that have different manufacturers on them. I don't know. That's just what I've been seeing with the NYXLs. It could be just a cork, if that makes sense. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I don't know if anyone else has that issues with them or have played them. The Slinkies are fine, and Slinkies are inexpensive. That's probably the best inexpensive string money can buy is the Slinkies. I gotta agree with that. I'm reading Vox's comment to Honey Tap up here. What speaker would you recommend for a 2x60 watt stereo solid state amp. 2x60. Now I'm running. I have a Pro Valve, and it's a stereo 50, and I'm running greenbacks, and my greenbacks are only 35 watt greenbacks. Been that way for 30 years. There's a difference. Even though you have a distorted signal, you can't. When they say dirt destroys drivers, that's what destroys drivers. Feedback, pop, your spectrum analyzer, like a pink noise, stuff like that. That's what destroys your drivers. If you have a good quality amplifier and you're not plugging in and out your guitar, and that's something. This right here, guys. If you guys didn't see this in the live stream, you need one of these. This will save speakers. This is your speaker savior right here. And I'm going to show you why if you missed last stream. Let me turn on my Line 6 stomp here.
Taylor wants to know if you played flat wounds.
Flat wound. Yes, I did try a set of flat wound. And I'm an 80s hairband guy. So with the flat round strings, guess what? You can't do this. You can't do that. There is no scratchy scratch. So I did it one time. They felt really funny under my fingers, and you couldn't scratch. You couldn't do any pick scratching with them. So I never put another set on. Let me see if the Line 6 is up and going. And I just dropped my pick. And it went to China. So now I got to find another pick. Let me see if it's on. There it goes. Alright, I'm going to show you guys once I find another pick. Because that one literally went somewhere where I can't find it. Let me see. You'd think as a guitar player I would have 50,000 picks. But here's what you want so you're not blowing speakers. This is a special cord. So when you're out live and your amplifier's on, okay, watch. No noise. No noise. No noise. Look, I'm doing all kinds of weird stuff with the jack. It's not making any noise. Look. No noise. The little red ring compresses into the plug and it disconnects the cable. So until this tip goes into the jack, it doesn't start compressing the red cable. So it's a noiseless cable. That in itself will save your speakers. No noise. Look. No. Nothing. Again. Works. Dead. When people say they're blowing speakers, unless they're just playing ridiculously loud, usually it's because they have a feedback issue, or they've got a pink noise problem, or they've got bad caps in their amp, or they're plugging their guitar in. It's causing that short, and that'll, well, one, that kills input tubes like you wouldn't believe, but it also destroys your drivers. So be very mindful of that. And that, I just finally bought one of these cords. I've wanted one of these cords for a long time. I just refused to pay the hateful price that they wanted for one of these. And Gator Cables finally come out with an economical version of it. This one's $50. So we'll see how long it lasts, because that's half the price of what they normally are. These cords are usually $100 for, a 10 or 15 foot cord. So $52, and it's a noiseless cable. And like I said, I mean, to be able to do this, to sit there and play with that thing in the guitar and not make any noise whatsoever, and then when you plug it in, see, it's still no noise. Now it works. Now the cable's dead. Completely dead. I can throw it on the floor, no amp hum, no carrying on. Nothing. So, especially doing this kind of stuff. This guitar needs new strings on it too. It's getting pretty long in the tooth. The strings are quite dead. They're the B string is black, so that pretty much tells you how old those strings are. And I need to put strings on the Kramer, and I need to put strings on my Pacifica. So I might have some restring videos coming up. If I'm doing that much restring, I might as well record it and do a tutorial video on stringing up a Floyd Rose or something. Yeah, what Kurt Inskell is saying, it depends on what you're playing. That's 100% true. You really can't beat a greenback because the greenbacks kind of do a little bit of everything. But if you're doing a lot of country, I would probably look into Jensen or JBLs. You can't beat the JBL. You can't beat a Jensen either. No one really talks about Jensen anymore. Jensen makes great instrumental speakers. There's another one, Eminence. Eminence makes some really nice stuff. And this Mojo Tone, they've got a couple really nice speakers. I have Celestion Pentas in this cabinet, 4 Penta 12s. Then I have 4 Celestion Greenbacks, 35 watt in this cabinet over here. And then the cabinet underneath the window over there that's hiding has 2 Celestion V30s in it. So pretty much everything I have is Celestion, other than my blown up Black Star here, which has a Black Star driver in it. So I guess I would be considered a Celestion guy. Yeah, Pentagore says the only time I blew a speaker is when the wireless shorted out. Yeah, anything like that will just destroy drivers. When our band first started playing out, we were HE double hockey sticks, if that makes sense, on blowing horns. We blew so many freaking horns. We started buying the Electro Voice dual voice coil horns, and they were threaded on both sides. So you had the big magnet with the voice coil on it. The horn would blow, and the tech could run over, pop the back off the horn, spin the driver off, take it off, turn it 180 degrees, stick it back on the horn, spin it, hook up the cable. You could do it in 20 seconds. Now, if you blew it twice in one night, you were screwed. Then you had to spin it off, grab another driver, but it was dual loaded. So if you blew it, you just spin it off, flip it, put it back on, spin it, hook it up, and you were ready to go. And we were horrible for blowing horns. We probably blew a horn every 4th show. We would blow a horn. And sub bends. We were hard. We had 2 JBL sub bends that had 4 18-inch drivers in each bend. And we were hard on the sub bends. Just too much. We were running 2 monoblock Hafler DH500s, and that wasn't enough power to push. A monoblock 500 would get you about 800 watts, and 800 watts just wasn't enough to drive 4 of those massive 18-inch JBLs. We actually needed 1500 watts to drive them right. And people are like, well, if you turn it up, if you're not turning it up, you're not using the wattage. Sometimes it's not about that. It's about the transformer that's in the amp. The Hafler 500 transformer just didn't have enough oomph at, let's say, 700 watts. So it would fall off on hard hits. It wouldn't shoot up. It would just kind of, it would hit it for a second, and then the power would drop because the transformer and the caps and the amplifier just wasn't up to snuff. If you would have looked at something like the Bryson, had a big 1500 watt amplifier back in the day, but it was $3,000 for one amplifier. And we just couldn't have. We were the only dummies running Haflers. Most people were running Crowns. And the Crowns back then, they were just so noisy under the fluorescent lights. You were running, a couple Crowns. All you heard was, Did you hear it when you were playing? No, you didn't. But if the band was quiet, the noise coming from the loudspeaker system was just, in my opinion, just awful. So we ran, I still have my Yamaha. I think that's a P7000. I know we had 2 Yamahas, 4 DH500 Pro Haflers. Then we had 2 Hafler Transnova P3000s. They were running the mid cabinets. And then we had 2 Hafler P1500s running the horns. So monoblocked every amplifier. So one 1500 Transnova ran one horn, one P3000 Transnova run the mid, one Hafler DH500 monoblocked run the woofer, and then we had the woofer, the monoblock, we didn't monoblock the DH500. That was left, right ran both woofers, and then we had 2 Hafler DH500s monoblocked running the sub bins, and it just wasn't enough get-go. And I just refused to go and buy. At the time there was QSC, Crown, of course Samson, but the Samson stuff broke and failed so bad. I'm trying to think of some of the other. Of course, PV, the old CS5, I think it was a CS500 and CS800, but they were so heavy and noisy. But they were tanks. We stuck with most of our amps were Haflers. I don't even remember what the Yamaha was powering because we had one P7000, one P5000. It might have been monitors on the stage the Yamahas were running. I might have it all messed up. It's been so long ago I don't remember. But I still have, the only amplifier I have out of that whole rig is that one P7000. And that's it. And that went in for service about a year and a half ago. One of the gain potentiometers failed on it, so I took it to the Yamaha authorized service guy in Strasburg, Virginia. I think it was $100 to fix it. A new one like that is like $2,000 for that amplifier because that's a big amplifier nowadays. I think the biggest one they make now is the 5,000. I don't think they still make the 7,000. But it's a beast of an amp. Yeah, EVs. Yeah, we had a mix between EV and PV. I do remember that. We ran EVs on the horns, JBL on the bass bins. I think our mid cabinets were EV loaded, and I think our bass bins were PV Black Widows, if I remember correctly. They wasn't, I don't remember if it was I think it was a Black Widow. They wasn't horrible, but they wasn't great either. But then again, we were running the JBL 18s, and they didn't sound right because we didn't have enough power behind them. If we would have been smart, we would have reconfigured and just ran two 18s on each side, just or taken one sub bin and just mounted it behind the drummer and just blanketed the stage with the one bin and just mono blocked 118 with a DH500. I think we would have been fine then, but it couldn't handle four drivers. Pentagore says the Yamaha powered mixer. Yamaha makes good stuff, man. Their power amps and mixers even today, just phenomenal stuff. It's good, clean power. That was my issue with QSC and Crown. They were just so noisy. They were just so noisy. The filter caps on those amps were just they were just noisy, and they were poorly shielded. The way the transformers and all were mounted, the way the wiring was done, if you were in a so-so bar with fluorescent lights and grounding, those amps were noisy. They just were. Now you might go somewhere and you had good wiring and decent lights, and those amps were tame. But if you went somewhere with fluorescent lights, forget about it. They just hummed like a circus clown. Celestion 30s are still great. I get so confused on the Celestions. There's so many different Celestions now. They've got a cream back, and a lot of people say cream, and I think they're saying green. I have green, like the color green. Greenbacks, not creambacks. I don't know if I've ever heard of creamback, but people claim the creamback is good. Or the V30s. I don't know if Kurt's talking about the V30s. Yeah, the QSC 1300. QSC made a lot of different amps. And that QSC wasn't quite as noisy as the Crowns, but they had a high failure rate. I remember guys going out and buying the QSCs and not getting more than a year and a half of use out of them. And they would start popping caps, or the transformers went out in them. So that's why I stuck with Hafler. They may not have had the raw power, but they sounded good, and they were like the PVCS amps. You could just beat the tar out of those Haflers, and they didn't break. And this was right when Rockford Fosgate had bought them, because the Transnova was the first amplifier Dave Hafler come out with after Rockford Fosgate bought them. They were still good amplifiers. Anything after the Transnova, let's say the fourth production run, just went to because Rockford Fosgate just wanted Dave's designs. They did not care about the commercial end or the home theater end or their high-end drivers. Hafler used to make, some really high-end horns, just like Klipsch. Klipsch isn't Klipsch. I see Klipsch. Oh, I got Klipsch. No, you got a speaker with a Klipsch name on it. Klipsch, I don't think has made speakers since probably 94, 95 was the last Klipsch speaker that was made. It's just rebadged drivers that say Klipsch. And that's what was happening to Hafler. Hafler was just getting farmed out by whatever Japanese, Korean company that Rockford Fosgate was using. They were slapping the Hafler name on it. The DH500s I had were hand wired by Dave Hafler himself. He wired them personally. They were great amps. Now the Transnovas, they weren't hand-wired amps. They were on PC boards. So it was machine done. But the traces were really big. But by the time 5 or 6 years went in, they started cheapening the components, putting cheaper transformers in them, cheaper potentiometers in them. And they come out with that Hafler TA 1100. The whole TA line was junk. It was just horrible stuff. And once that reputation got around, people were buying Haflers and they were failing. The name went out the window. So that's what happened to Hafler Engineering. And I think QSC is still in business. And Crown has gotten better. The Crown amplifier that I have down here, I forget what this thing is. It's a heck of an amplifier. A lot of the hi-fi guys buy this for their hi-fi home stereos. It's a heck of a clean amplifier. So Crown did eventually get their noise problem straight. Blue Bulldog, yeah, I've heard of that one as well. Yeah, I think that's the only Klipsch left, Devastator. And I think that's a hybrid Klipsch. I don't know if that's a dual horn that you set in the corner of your room and it uses the corner of the room to create the full horn, or if that's an actual speaker driver and a horn. Back in the day, Klipsch didn't use any drivers. It was 100% horn driver. They did play around with the electrostat, where they had a horn, and then the metal strips going down the side of the cabinet with wires going to it, and the strips would vibrate. They did tinker around a little bit with the electrostat technology, but I don't think they went too far with it. But the 90s were hard on Klipsch. That's when they kind of fell apart. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna call it a night. I have to get up and go and put in my hours tomorrow. So, like we do every live stream, I'm gonna take the 5-minute window, and you guys can finish up chatting and finish up the conversation and do all that neat stuff. Hopefully, I'm gonna push the right button, because I always seem to screw up the button. I need to label my buttons better. But we are doing the live stream on Saturday nights, and it will be a live stream. I don't have anything recorded for Saturday night. So if you guys want, in the bottom of this video, if you guys could go down and post a comment what you guys want to kind of go over for Saturday night, I can do some research and see what's going on. Or we can just do an open format like we did tonight and just talk about everything. It's up to you guys. All right, I'm going to hit the 5-minute window.